I'm Becky Peltz. I am a Curriculum Program Manager for Developer Education at Cloudnary. And I'm just so excited to have Vimal Lakera from Syndigo here presenting with me in the first workshop.
Hey guys, my name is Vimal Lakera. I'm the Director of Product Management at Syndigo. And I'm here to talk about the new app that we just released on our platform, which is Advanced DAM, powered by Cloudnary. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but first, let's start.
Let's get going. I just want to say to you that at Cloudnary Training, one of the things that we have, our motto, our mantra is upload, transform, deliver. And so if you think of those, think about that as you're hearing these talks and you're seeing how people solve problems. And so with that, let's start in on this first workshop. Vimal and I will be presenting. Basically, this flow is going to be, I will walk you through some of the Cloudnary technology that Vimal's used at Syndigo, and then he'll give you kind of a deeper dive on that and a demo. And the title here, Creating Integrations to Cloudnary from Syndigo and Other Third-Party Systems. So this is a lot about integration, but you're going to see that it's also a lot about management. So those are some things to keep in mind as you're seeing this. So our topics, and this list is really a list of the technologies that were used in the Syndigo PIM. So they're in their project information management system. So we'll be looking at the media library widget, signed uploads, which are very useful with the media library widget. We'll be looking at the media library as it looks like in Syndigo. So this is a widget that you'll see how to implement. And then we'll be looking at Cloudinary's artificial intelligence add-ons, which Syndigo uses for tagging. And you'll see that's a very important feature and if you're going to get into management, tagging is the way to go. There are many other Cloudnary features that benefit from tagging. Then we'll look at webhooks, because we really are interested in automating. And webhooks are a way that we can hook together different systems, especially if you're working in the cloud. You're pulling the best of breed from different vendors, and this is a way that you can kind of hook them together. Then we'll look at a beta product, MediaFlows. It's a Cloudnary beta product, and it has been used by Syndigo. And it's used for automation. It takes advantage of these webhooks. Finally, we'll just take a quick look at some of the low-code, low-code integrations that Syndigo takes advantage of from Cloudnary. And then we'll move to the actual demo. So this is really a neat thing. This is Cloudnary. We are a headless solution. There's a lot of APIs. You can build tons of applications around these. We also are, and this is my own word, head full, because we have front-end widgets that you can bring into your application. So if you're a front-end developer, you can bring in this amazing amount of technology, amazing amount of front-end code, wrap it in your own framework, React, Angular. In the case of Syndigo, they use Google Polymer. This is all available to you. And I'm going to share with you here. This is a demo of the media library widget that is used in the Syndigo PIM. And you can get into this for free. This is you can even just Google Cloudnary Media Library Widget. And basically, this is a hosted widget, and it's a little demo page where I can play around with settings and then grab the code, put it in my HTML, CSS, put it in my React, and have my own widget. Essentially what you see in the DAM is available to you in a widget. Assigned uploads. This is really important. It's like when you're dealing with security, you're always looking for layers. With the widget, either our upload widget, which if you look at this, we actually have a widget that just does upload. So if you're either upload widget or media library widget, and you want to add an extra bit of security, you can make it a signed upload. And we distinguish between signed uploads and unsigned uploads, because you can also create a preset, which you'll hear more about, that is an unsigned preset. And that means that you can get an upload running from your front end without exposing your API secret, just by having the authority to create this preset and use that as a value in your code. And so you have this option of I could just shoot completely unsigned. I could put it behind my own authentication. I'm good. But if I want to add an extra layer of security, I can also send in, I don't know if you can see this real clearly, but what they're doing is they're creating a string to sign here using the username of their DAM user. And then they're calling a function to sign it. And then they are including that signature as a parameter in the upload. So it's very easy to do. And we have a lot of examples in documentation on how to sign. Now here's a video, and I'm going to play this. This was created by Vimal. And Vimal, please call out anything you want here.
Sure.
This will go kind of fast. So here we are in the app. You just clicked on Cloudnary. Now you see the media library widget. You're going to do an upload. You have a lot of options where to get your media. And here they're doing a Google search and just pulling in a random image. And it's uploaded, and then they can go mess around with metadata. And that's where you really get into management. There's a lot of different types of metadata. They're going to use tags. And over here, actually, we're setting up just a title and a description that can be used, like I said, as an alt attribute or something. So this is kind of a quick peek at where we're going, where Vimal will be demoing. So we've seen that maybe we want to add tags. So you can definitely go in, type your own tags in. There's no hindrance there. But if you want to get a lot of tags that give you a lot of perception of what images you've uploaded, what video, we have add-ons. These are artificial intelligence add-ons. And they do a number of things besides tagging. They do background removal. They do video moderation, video transcription. But in the case of Syndigo, I've kind of highlighted these here. We're going to have Google auto-tagging, recognition auto-tagging, Imaga auto-tagging. And what happens is during the upload process, just a simple little parameter to the upload process can kick off all of this auto-tagging. So it looks at your image. It says, oh, you have a boat, you have a car, you have a person, and it just kind of tags it with that.
Yeah.
So,
and Betty, it seems like we missed one. We are also using the OCR text detection.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another feature that we are leveraging from Cloudnary to extract content from the images and then publish as part of the product information.
Yeah, so if you have pictures of words, they can become tags. Yeah, and one thing I want to say too, I don't know, how many people have a Cloudnary account, self-service, or the company?
Wow.
Oh, wow, everybody. So I don't really want to talk too much about how to get in and get yours feed. But all of this can be done. You can create your own free account of your developer and just start playing around with some of these add-ons. They give you a certain amount for free. So, webhooks. Okay, this is where we really get into automation. In the Cloudinary world, they provide a parameter called notification URL. That parameter is good for a webhook. And if you haven't worked with webhooks, a webhook's basically just an API endpoint that generally is more concerned about receiving data from an event. So an event like upload succeeds. Okay, Cloudinary, you've given it a notification URL. You get this API called by Cloudinary, and it gets all the information about the upload. So at that point, that API can then do something else, like a simple thing. Maybe you do an upload, and you ask the upload to do some moderation, and when that's all done, it calls another API, tells it all the information about the upload, and then that API sends you an alert. Okay, that got uploaded, it's ready for moderation. So those are some very simple things, but it can get much more complex because one of the things that happens in the cloud is you're picking the best of the best services for the operations you want to do, and you need to be able to hook them together. And so these webhooks give you that, and they also send data from each operation to the next. And you're going to see something even cooler when we talk about. Oh, by the way, too, you can even go in at the bottom here. I'm showing notification URL. If in your DAM, you can just paste a notification URL. And like, for example, I use this webhook.site. It's weighted. So I put my notification URL in there. And then anytime anything changes in my DAM, I just get a little record of it here. It's free. You know, I thought it would expire, but I've been running this for about 6 months now, so it's very handy. MediaFlows. So this is a big part of what Syndigo's been working with Cloudinary on. And before we get too much into it, MediaFlows is a beta product, and if you are interested in working on this, you may want to contact your CSM or talk to our support team, support@cloudnary.com, to help you get this going. So because it is beta, we want to work with you on that. I think you'll find it fun collaborating with Cloudnary people. They're really smart, and they love to solve problems. So looking at this, what you're seeing is, you know, I think we heard in the Bleacher report that basically I want to draw boxes and arrows. And that's kind of what a lot of us just want to do, because that's how we're thinking about it. And that's exactly what they're doing here in the UI on MediaFlows, is you've got an operation, you've got an arrow, you see the red and blue, you've got success and failure, and then you can just deal with it. And essentially, it's webhooks that are doing those connections. So you can kind of read some of the operations there, but
so Becky,
yeah.
So primary use case when you will be using webhook, right? So you have seen the previous slide, there's a webhook already, a notification URL that you can put in, right? But that doesn't carry any request headers, any security protocols, right? So because we are a data company and security and compliance is a major thing for us, right? So we cannot use the notification URL as is, and that is when we requested Cloudnary that we cannot use notification URLs. We need to use some other tool. And lucky enough, we already have MediaFlows in the run, though it's beta, but it's a very powerful tool. What you can do is, it's kind of a webhook which catches, but also allows you to transform and manipulate the information, add more metadata to it. And what we are doing is, we are catching the requests from Cloudnary. We are getting the additional details of the asset, because what Cloudnary does is, if you're changing a tag, it just gives you tag information, because just a notification of the event that happened. But that doesn't work out for us. We wanted the entire asset information. Every time anything is getting changed. So what we are doing here is, we are getting the entire asset details, adding the headers, which is a client key or secret to that, and then sending it back to the event hub, which is hosted on the Syndigo infrastructure. So that way we are validating also that what is the source which are publishing information to Syndigo, because we cannot accept information from any source, right? We have to we have to do our due diligence. So that's why we use MediaFlows.
I think anybody that's worked with webhooks, that is a question that comes up, is how do I secure them? I mean, you can do things like check, you know, who's a referrer, but people can spoof that. So there are some more things that you can do, and in fact, our notification URLs, there's a function that you can call. It's got a time limit, and you can kind of do some checking to make sure that it's what you're expecting, it's from who you're expecting, and it's within a certain time. But as Bill says, this is something that you just always want to be thinking about, because you're putting APIs out there, and you don't just want anyone calling them. And so you can kind of see on the bottom here where you can activate, you can open this up right from the DAM by just clicking on one of the icons, and we have like a new apps section in there where people are adding apps all the time, and so you would find that under there. So this is what you'll see more of this with Vimal's demo. And then one more thing here. Oh, MediaFlows, just to let you know, what's in those boxes? Basically a lot of serverless functions. So small amounts of logic, often calling another API, sending some data to it. So just kind of moving a chain of calls. It's really nice working with these serverless functions. They're very modular. You don't have to write a lot of code. In fact, maybe you just write one piece of code and put it in your favorite storage spot and use it over and over. You can just tweak it. So yeah, serverless functions, really helpful. And finally, I just want to point out some of the other integrations that Syndigo did, and please join in if you see something.
Sure.
When I mentioned presets earlier in terms of signed and unsigned, presets are basically a set of instructions that get run during an upload. And it's amazing the number of types of things you can do, everything from creating your ABR, advanced bitrate streaming video, to, adding, like what we're doing here. You can
enabling the moderation, enabling the tagging, the auto OCR extraction. All those things are just a configuration, just a click away, right? You don't have to code for them. It's just you need to turn on a flag, and automatically, whenever you upload an asset, those tags or OCR content will be extracted and added to the metadata of the asset. So that's what this all presets is all about. And you can define multiple presets based on the source. So it's not like you should only define one. You can have options to define multiple presets based on what kind of asset it is or which kind of data type you are uploading, be it a document, image, or a video.
Yeah, and you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see this or not, but on the bottom here.
It's on the right also?
Yeah. Over there,
that's the same thing,
there's an eval that's doing, doing a lot of validation checking. So we're looking at height, width, DPI, format, and just so like, I am not going to upload something unless it passes all these tests. And back in the main preset, you can set a notification URL. So that, and I think that's kind of how you kick off MediaFlows, is to the upload runs, and then boom, it goes into the flow. And then at the bottom, we're also seeing, just using some help from Cloudnary with authorization, authentication, just a single sign-on for a seamless integration.
Yeah, so again, being a data company, we don't allow user management. We don't manage user information in our system. We always rely on an IDP, which is an identity provider, which is a third party, like Okta or Azure Cloud, right? And they all, and we have a SAML validation certification that we allow only single sign-ons on our platform. And same way, Cloudnary also supports single sign-on, which is based on the SAML 2.0. So that way, the user which is using our platform, they don't have to maintain or manage two different separate accounts, right, to log into the platforms. All they have to do is log into one system and access both the platform's capabilities. So that's what SAML, single sign-on, is all about.
And there are more integrations, too, that we just don't have time for.
Yeah, so these are very basic ones.
Yeah, so I think this is where we're going to swap.
Oh, yeah.
And
sure. Thank you.
Well, we'll do this little dance.
I'll be dancing around here and there. So
I can drop pictures.
Hello again. First of all, thank you for showing up for this event and making this success. And I'd also like to start with thanking Cloudnary team for inviting Syndigo to this event and letting us share our experience with you guys. So you guys are already registered and you guys already have accounts in Cloudnary, right? So I've seen lots of hands raised at that point in time. So I believe that means that you're familiar with Cloudnary. And I don't know, and I hope you have looked up for Syndigo also before coming to this event. I don't know how many of you have done that, but not an issue. That's the reason I'm here. So as I said, I represent Syndigo as a Director of Product Management. So let me give you a brief about what Syndigo is so that you can understand the relevance and the context of this collaboration that we did with Cloudnary. And then I'm going to talk about this whole partnership, why we chose Cloudnary or why we partnered together, and then followed by a small demonstration. So Syndigo, we are an IT product company. We are based out of Chicago, Illinois. We offer native SaaS cloud solution to our customers. Okay. We have a presence in around 14 different locations across the globe, be it Asia, North America, or Europe. We have 1,000+ employees working around the clock to support our customer base. We are the global leaders in content management. Oh, sorry, I forgot to turn the slide. Yep, there you go. So we are the global leaders in the content management space across all domains, most probably. You can think of like retail, manufacturing, healthcare, food and beverages, CPG, and the list goes on. We are also rated as global leaders in product information management and master data maintenance space by the reputed advisory and research firms like Forrester, Gartner, and IDC. I don't know how many of you know about Gartner, Forrester. So these are the firms basically who evaluate the product companies based on their customer feedback as well as the latest trends going in the market. And for the last couple of years, we are recognized as a leader in this space. We are also the largest two-sided network serving the retailers, the suppliers, the distributors, the manufacturers of the world. We manage, maintain, and distribute product information for about 130 million products and almost about 330 million digital assets. We have around 12,000+ manufacturing brands associated with us and almost about 1,800 retailers, right? So the reason why these guys are associated with us is There are multiple reasons to that. But before I go to that, let me show you a glimpse of the brands or logos that are associated with Syndigo. It's not possible to list all 14,000 here. A small glimpse, right? And by looking at this, I believe that you guys can also associate or relate yourself with these as a consumer, be it a Costco, P&G, Johnson & Johnson, Toys R Us, Walgreens, Target, Sony, Apple, you name it, and you'll find a footprint of Syndigo in there, right? So this is a small list. Now the question here is, like, whenever we present this slide in any conference or any prospect, right, sales thing, the very basic question is like, why these brands are associated with Syndigo? And they are not associated with us for a year or two. They are associated with decades, like 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. We have the association with these brands. The reason why these are associated with us is the value. It's a very basic thing. What are the value add that you're providing, right? If I'm partnering with Cloudnary or Cloudnary partnering with Syndigo, what is the value add we are giving to each other? So we are also adding a value to these businesses, and the values are pretty simple. It's like by reducing their manual processes, by introducing more automation and governance, right? So that they can get rid of those cumbersome blockers, like people uploading files, just multiple files, managing multiple, same file managed by multiple users, redundant data and all that stuff. So we're trying to reduce their manual processes, trying to meet the recipient, the end user, the consumer, their requirements, what they expect from the data, maintaining the consistency across brands, as well as expanding and exploring new SKUs day by day, right? So that is how we came up to 130 million products so far. We are not only data management company, we are also a data pool by itself. So moving on to the next thing, right? So before I go there, right? So in a nutshell, what Syndigo is a company that manages, governs, and distributes product information. And now I keep talking about data, right? So what is the data? If I ask you what is the data, most of you guys will come up with an answer saying that a product description, a feature list, a pricing, a logistic information, inventory information, right? But we rarely talk about the relevance of digital asset. A good picture, a good video, a good spec sheet, right? Now, so coming back to this topic, so if I ask you a simple question, right? So if you go to any e-com website, any retailer website, be it a Walmart, be it a Target, or let's say Costco, right? And if you're looking or searching for a product, and let's say the two results come back based on the search that you have done. One of the product having an image, one of the product doesn't have an image. Which product you will click on? Obviously, right? 10 out of 10 you will click on a product that has an image. The reason being, exactly. So what digital asset is? It's a clickbait, right? That creates an initial impression about the product, right? That impression may or may not endure long, but it generates a footfall, right? And then footfalls create sales, and sales creates revenue, and that is what companies are looking for at the end of the day, how to earn revenue, right? And it's not something that we are coining new things, but a wise man sometime back said, right? A picture depicts more than 1,000 words, right? And it's a verified reality based on the analytics that we have run across all our customer e-com sites, right? And this is one of the stats from that. The add to cart ratio for the products having excellent product tools and exceptional digital assets jumped up to 74%. And that's based on our customer base, right? So this is, now that brings me to the next question, why we partnered with Cloudnary. Being an IT product company, we could have developed our own digital asset management tool. And matter of the fact, we have one. Surprise, right? The thing is, then why? Why Cloudnary? That's the same question we internally asked ourselves when we started talking about enhancing our existing digital asset management app. Right? We realized that Cloudnary is already there. They are already marked as a leader in this space, right? Competing with Cloudnary doesn't make sense. Why make competition or why make enemies when you can be a partner or friends? Right? And they already have all the good toys in their kitty, right? So why buy a new one? Just play with their toys, right? So that's what we decided. So that's how we collaborated with Cloudnary and come up with this integration. Now, together, what we are doing is we are providing our customers a unified solution, right, to complement and leverage the competitive advantage in the market, as well as utilize the technical skill set of both the companies to reduce time to market, so that we can introduce products faster into the market so that our customers can take a competitive edge over others. So that was the whole idea about this partnership, right? And I'll also like to coin a word, right? We also say that in today's day and age, 1 + 1 is no longer 2, it's 11. And that's the philosophy we have in the company as a Syndigo. And we also don't believe in reinventing the wheel unless necessary. And that's how this partnership came into the picture. Now, with that, I'll take a 5-second break, a monologue from this monologue to drink water, and then we'll jump into the demonstration. Meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
I have a question. So does Cloudinary kind of sit under Syndigo? So if I'm logging into my PIN on Syndigo, is it just like a seamless thing, or if I need to grab a picture, it's coming from Cloudinary, it looks like it's Syndigo?
Exactly, that's what you will get. And that's what I'm going to show in a while.
Let's repeat that question. So you're asking, does Syndigo just kind of sit on top of Cloudinary?
Exactly. So it feels like Syndigo is the PIN. I've enriched my product information, and now I need to add the image, and I'm just snagging that from Cloudinary.
And I would say, just my opinion looking at
sure.
it, is that it does sit on top in terms of APIs, but when you put that media library widget right in the middle of your application, it's kind of like an even deeper integration. You know,
It feels like a single application. You don't get a feel of 2 different applications, and somehow you're trying to work together, right? So this is just for your, like, there's a glimpse of what the data flow and integration points are. So again, in the Syndigo interface, we have embedded the Cloudnary Media Asset Library, right? They also have a concept of widget, so we embedded that widget into our interface, which internally talks to Cloudnary server. Anytime you upload an image, the request goes to the Cloudnary, where we do the processing, tag generation, OCR extraction, whatever. Then whenever you click and approve, because we are following a moderation approach, you can ignore that also, but we are following that. So whenever you approve an image, that image payload goes to MediaFlows. That is the tool that we are using. Then there we are doing all our transformation, manipulation, adding the headers, security, and whatnot, and then passing that payload back to Event Hub, which is hosted on the Syndigo interface. We are transforming that JSON coming from Cloudnary into native JSON, which we understand as a platform, and then rendering those images onto the UI, and then syndicating them to the downstream channels in different formats. So that's the overall high-level architecture that we are following. Looks pretty simple, and believe me, it's simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple is simple.
Yeah,
It's a lot of small pieces, but it's a big system.
Yes. So now it's time for demo. So what you guys looking here is a traditional Syndigo PIM platform. This is the landing page for every user who logs into Syndigo PIM platform. So as you can see on the dashboard itself, there's a lot of data, right? And that is what we are all about, right? So anytime a user is logging in, he might be interested in what are my things to do, right? So he can look through that. These are different business processes listed here. And then in each business process, there are certain specific list of items which are pending approval or enrichment or governance. So he can jump directly into that, or he can look into all the validations here, right? So it's all about data, right? So what are my favorite entities? What are my saved searches? What are the quick links that I can do? I want to see the items that I worked last week or last month, and so on and so forth. And now this entire page that you're looking at, home, is again an app by itself. And the greatest thing about both the platform is, like, we have a concept of app or add-on apps, as I say. Cloudnary is more external facing. They allow their apps to be used outside of their platform. But we, as a Syndigo, we create apps, or we allow our customers or partners to develop apps for Syndigo. But we do have a concept of add-on apps that can be used as a widget and can be placed anywhere. So all these things that you're looking at, right, be it the business condition, these all are apps by itself. They themselves as an app which are added as a widget on this page. Okay? And there are multiple apps. As you can see, there are these different icons here. These individually are a set of apps that we have developed and constructed our platform. And one of the apps that we recently introduced is Advanced Digital Asset Management app. And this is Cloudnary Media Asset Library. Let me show you another view of that. This is the Cloudnary website, and this is Media Asset Library on Cloudnary website. And this is Syndigo, and this is Media Asset Library. And this is the integration we developed. It's seamless. It doesn't feel like you are working on a different platform. The major problems that we solved is that I talked earlier also, like users don't have to now maintain 2 different credentials. They only have to know what are the credentials for Syndigo, and at the same time, they can work on their data as well as digital assets, right? They no longer have to open 2 different tabs and shuffle between tabs, right? So everything is in one unified platform.
One thing I could add to that too is
Sure.
that it's not branded as Cloudnary.
Yeah.
You guys took the brand off because you don't want to confuse people.
Yeah, again, yeah, that's again we did, and again, no coding for that. It's just a configuration. It's just a property on the Media Asset Library that we set to false, and we get rid of that Cloudnary logo because we don't want to give an impression that the user is working on 2 different applications. So that's why we took it off. So now let me go back to the home dashboard and let me walk you through a journey of a business user in a typical day in Syndigo platform. So let's consider that I'm a digital asset manager, and my job is to look out for the products, missing images, and add images to that, right? The very first thing I'll do is I'll log in and I'll simply check on my to-dos and see if anything is there for me to work on. As I can see on the enrichment, there's a stage called asset enrichment, and I can see there's one item there to work on. Let me see what is that. If I click on that, it will take me to the list page. Currently, we have only one, but there might be 10 or 20 items over there. If I click on that, it will take me to the list page and show me that this is the item that I need to work on. But before I start working, I need to understand what this product is all about. Because as an asset manager, as a digital media manager, my job is to upload an image for that product, right? So I can just simply upload an image by looking at the name Nivea, but I don't need to understand what that product is all about and what this product is. So as I can see, this is a body lotion, right? It already has a cross-sell. It already have some locales that are available in different locales and whatnot, but that is not my focus right now. My focus is to upload an asset for this particular product. So now what I'm going to do is, okay, I looked at the basic information, the brand, the display name, the size, and all this UPC and everything else. I'm familiar with that. Now my job is to go to the Advanced Digital Asset Library, which is a new app, either upload an asset from external source. It can be a Google Drive, it can be a Dropbox, it can be your Getty Images, Instagram, Facebook. There are multiple sources right here available. Or I can simply upload a file from my local drive, right? So I've already prepared some files for you guys, so I'm just gonna pick it up from my local drive. So these are the 3 images that I'm gonna upload right now. So as a digital asset manager, I selected these 3, I clicked these 3. So as you can see, the images are being uploaded. All 3 are uploaded, and the same will be displayed in the background. So these 3 images that I have just uploaded, as you can see, they are already tagged as new. So that is another indicator on the app that tells you what are the new images that I recently uploaded. Right? So I'll pick up one of the image. As asset manager, I'm okay with this quality, but I want to look further. I want to enrich this. I can do that by simply selecting these 3 and updating the information in bulk. I can simply click here and say edit structural metadata. These options are available on the toolbar itself. I can add tags. So I can just simply add a tag, lotion, and there you go, and update. At the same time, I updated all 3 items with a tag called lotion. At the same time, if I want to update structure metadata, which is more of a defined, right, which I have predefined in my system, right? So what is the go live date for my product? So I can simply say the go live date for my product is 25th of May. And that is when I want these images to be published out, right? So I click update and updated all 3 products with the same information. So this is how you can update information in bulk using this tool. Now, I want to update a single product, right? I want to just focus on this particular product, which is a primary or main or hero image for me. So I'll simply go inside the, double click on, or click on that product. It will take me to the detail page where I'm looking at the original asset that I uploaded, along with some of the summaries on this side. Now, if I click on metadata, you'll see that tag that I did earlier, right? It's showing up here. If I expand my structural metadata, you will see the go live date that I updated using the bulk operation. Now, I just want to update some UPC number here, which I'll do. And these are static metadata, right? So that means they will be available across all images. Now, the beautiful concept that Cloudnary introduced is the contextual metadata, which is dynamic in nature, right? Still, there are two very basic attributes available, like caption and alt. I may or may not populate them, but they have given ability to create metadata on the fly. So like if I say skew, I'm creating a new attribute or new property of image called skew and assigning a number to it. So I'll give it the number. If I have to add one more, I'll simply click one more and I'll say model number. Now for that, I don't need to rely on an IT team or an administrator to go and create a new attribute for me because I need that attribute on my downstream system. No, as a user, I can by myself create those attributes on need basis and I'm good to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just enter these two values. Key I forgot. MFG number. And I'll say save. Now at this point in time, what I did, I created some metadata, I added to the image, right? But these are more of a static, this is more of a content, right? So now let me take you to the next piece which we talk about and where Cloudnary is expertise in AI, which is generating tags or extracting content from an image, right? So as you can see, the very first thing that you see is the auto tagging. By default, Cloudnary supports, I believe, 3 tagging engines. Becky, you correct me, right? Amazon Recognition, Imaga, and Google tagging, right? So these are the 3 which are available to the user to choose from. So I can choose. As a user, I can choose I want to use Amazon Recognition as a source of tagging or Imaga or Google Vision. So I'll choose one of the engines. And then I can choose also the confidence score in the tags. So I can say 70% is fine with me as long as it is 70% accurate. Or I can increase or decrease that. And when I say run now you'll see that system will generate some tags. So only one tag came from Imaga and saying there's a toiletry item, which is almost accurate. If I choose a different engine, I can generate that also, like Amazon Recognition. If I click on that, Amazon Recognition may come up with more, right? So it's saying that can, tin, bottle, shaker, I don't know what it's thinking about, but that is what Amazon is all about. Now, based on this generation, I can pick and choose which engine I want to leverage, right? So at that point in time, I'll simply have to do is click on this plus icon. And when I do that, the same thing will be added back to my tag. So if I go back and you'll see, along with the lotion, now toiletry also showing up. So that's what I added by leveraging AI tagging. Now, the next very important, very, I would say critical for Syndigo customers is OCR, because we deal with the product information and it's all about data, right? How and when and where to grab data, be it an image or a source or any text file, right? And this capability from Cloudnary is helping us out a lot. Thanks again for building these cool tools. So now you're looking at this image, right? And you can see there's a logo showing up, Nivea, then there's some text essentially enriched, and then some more text to it, right? Which I cannot read from my naked eyes, but I'll use Cloudnary for that. I'll click run now, and you'll see that all the text that is there on the bottle is here. So if I highlight one by one, you'll see the same will be highlighted on the image. If I go to enrich, now if I go down, so every text, any content that is available on this bottle, on this image, is being extracted. Now this is all about media asset library, but how we are getting benefit out of it, right? Because still it's a media asset library that I can do on the Cloudnary side also. Now at this time, what I'll do, I'll close this. Now I'm satisfied with these 3 images. I'll simply select all 3 as a media asset manager and say, I approve. Now when I approve, let me go back to MediaFlows. Let me clear this out. And let me show how these approvals will work. So if I go back and simply click approve, you will see the same request will be pushed back to MediaFlow. It will be captured here. And it will be, as you can see, this is the current log of the 3 images that I just uploaded or just approved. So catch for one of them, you can see multiple catch blocks, and then getting data from Cloudnary, pushing it to Event Hub, second item pushed into Event Hub, and likewise the third item also got pushed to Event Hub. What that means? That means this information now transferred from Cloudnary to Syndigo platform. So let me go back, and let me grab this number from here. Now, if I go back, and this is our traditional DAM, the very basic DAM, which is satisfying very basic needs, but not the disruptor or not the wow factor for our users. That's why we chose Cloudnary. But this was the basic DAM that we had in our platform. And if I search for these images that I just pushed from Cloudnary, you will see all three are available here. Not only that, if I open one of the item, all the changes that I did, all the tagging, all the OCR extraction and everything will be available on our platform. So as you can see, the OCR information is available here. The tags are generated. Even the contextual metadata that I added to that image is being transferred and stored in our platform. That is one part. That's also fine, that anybody can do, anybody can read information. What else we are doing with this? So now this is an asset, right? And there will be a relevant SKU, which is there in the system that we saw earlier, right? So if I go back to that SKU that we opened earlier, which was this item, at that point in time, it doesn't have any images, right? You see here, the blank thumbnail is showing up, right? Let me refresh it. Now, what we are doing is, we have a way, oh, it's not showing up? It will show up in a while. Give us a second or two. Yeah, so there you go. So now, as you can see, all three images are associated. So I can see like this item has images and these three images are showing up. So what we are doing is, we are grabbing the name of the image and matching that with one of the attributes available on the item. And that attribute in this case is UPC number. So as you can see, all these images have a UPC number and then underscore 01, 02, and 03. And we also have the capability where you can add some logic to your image names, where you can say UPC number underscore 01, that means your primary image, underscore front, back, side, 360, whatever you can add. We can extract that metadata from the image and then associate accordingly to our items. So that's what end-to-end integration is all about. And with that, I'll close.